Hi, it's me, Steven Silvestri. My YouTube page is also known as Steven Silvestri. Please drop a like, hit that smash button, smash that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications and all that good stuff. Today, my video is on safe driving because I've been seeing more and more unsafe driving here in not just New Jersey but elsewhere when I've been traveling. I've been in buses and cars and other vehicles, and I'm seeing people that are driving extremely dangerous, and I want to bring the seriousness of aggressive driving and dangerous driving. Do you realize that you guys that travel on a highway at the speed limit of 65 miles an hour in a matter of 2 seconds, you've covered almost 9 3/4 football fields? That's correct, ladies and gentlemen, football fields. I'm not talking feet. I am talking about almost a mile in a matter of 2 seconds. Now, when you're driving, the point of you driving is to be paying attention to the road, not that damn cell phone that's in your cup holder, or that water bottle, or that shaver, or that makeup. Ladies, give yourself more time to put your makeup on. Don't be trying to do it while you're driving down the highway. Men, don't be shaving when you're trying to drive down the road. That's also a hazard. Ladies and gentlemen, try to eat before you get in the car. And if you have to eat while you're driving, pull over and eat, and then get back, and then pull back out once your hands are free from the food, and you're not trying to drive with one hand on the wheel, the other hand on the food, or the cup, or the bottle, whatever you've got. Now, what if I told you that 97% of all road rage incidences is due to being cut off? And now, out of that 97% of road rage instances of being cut off, 75% of it stems from people failing to use the turn signal properly. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, a turn signal. That you needing to use the turn signal is not just the law, it's common courtesy. We as humans cannot read other people's minds. We don't know what other people are thinking. We don't know where you're going or what you're about to do. So now, when you use the turn signal, you are publicly announcing that you're going to be doing a lane change or making a turn, or you're going to be double parking. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the use of the turn signal is to be used within 100 to 200 feet before your turn. I said before, not 200 feet right as you're approaching, not 50 feet before you hit the turn or the lane change. You need to give the turn signal. You need to look over your shoulder, check your mirrors and your blind spots before you make the lane change or that turn, because you're going to either end up colliding into another car, another pedestrian, a bicyclist, a motorcycle, or somebody who just simply is not expecting you to be doing something of that nature. Example, if you're going to be pulling a right-hand turn with a bicyclist alongside you, option A is to put the brakes, put your foot on the brake, wait for that bicyclist to get out of your way while you have your turn signal on, so that way that the cyclists and other cross traffic know that you're going to be making that right-hand turn. It might require you to put that cell phone down or put that cup of coffee down. It might require you to do that. Now, what if I told you that out of that 75% of failing to use the turn signal properly, that 45% of all incidences on the road could be prevented? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, prevented. Now, the turn signal is there for a reason. The turn signals are on cars, not there for decoration. It's got a purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, use it. If you don't use it, you can and will be held accountable for that. That even goes for you, police officers. If you're conducting a stop on somebody, don't throw just your overheads on. Throw your four-ways on the car that you're using to conduct the stop. Put your emergency flashers on top of your emergency lights that are on the roof of your car. Now, let me get into the issue of double parking. Double parking is when you have legally parked cars on the curb and then a car pulls up alongside a legally parked set of cars and parks in a lane of travel. Double parking is A, against the law, B, it's unsafe, and C, it's careless. Careless. I don't care who you are. There is no excuses to be double parked. The only time I would say condone double parking is if the vehicle is mechanically disabled and you can't move it. And then at that point, you put your hood up, you throw a white flag on your antenna or somewhere on the car where people will see it. You have your standard car's four ways, and you're already on the phone with a tow truck and or a police officer to come and push you off the road if need be. Most times, the tow truck would come and get you out of the way before you cause another collision with another car hitting you or possibly hitting somebody else trying to avoid you who is parked in the middle of the road. Now, the only time I would condone that is if your car is out of gas, or if you have a mechanical issue, or if your tire's flat. I don't know. I don't really condone double parking. It's unsafe, it's a hazard, and you can and will be held accountable for it. Now let's get into safety features of the car. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the age of 2018. We are in the 21st century. Cars nowadays have more features on and in them, than the cars back in the 90s. Now we better use these safety features that are in the cars. For example, the sensitive passenger airbags are there for a reason. You do not put your 7-8-year-old child in the front seat because the airbag can and will kill them upon deployment. What I mean by deployment is if they're engaged due to a frontal collision. Now, the only time I would condone you putting a kid in the front seat is if the vehicle is a two-door vehicle, like a two-door coupe or a two-door pickup truck, and you don't have a back seat. Then at that point you are required by law to shut the passenger airbag off if your passenger is not of the legal size and weight requirement to be in the front seat. Now, again, to be honest with you, the safest place is the back seat. The back seat is the safest place for a kid in the car. If you're not 115 pounds, over 5'5", if you're not 5'5" inches tall, and you don't weigh over 115 pounds, you are not legally allowed to ride in the front seat. Plus, you have to be over the age of 13. Now I can understand if your mom or dad, mother or father has a two-door pickup truck or a two-door car, and you don't have a backseat. That I'm not gonna be pissed off about. But the other thing is, I'm seeing people that don't wear seatbelts. Seatbelts are there for a reason. 95% of the time, the seatbelts will save your life. There's only a small percentage that those seatbelts won't save your life. Now, I see people wearing seatbelts all different kinds of ways, and I'm guilty of the following way. I'll click it like normal. I'll click it in the seatbelt clicker like normal, but what I'll do is I'll take my arm out of the seatbelt and I'll put it over. I'll put the seatbelt underneath my arms. That's not safe at all. If the driver slams on the brakes and stops short, I'm gonna get injured because the seatbelt is coming across my waist and my lower chest. It's not protecting me fully from being thrown forward, meaning towards the dashboard or your steering wheel or your windshield or whatever you've got. Now, seatbelts are there for a reason. I can understand if you're going making frequent stops on one street and you're jumping in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. I can understand that. But to be blatantly driving a car with no seatbelt is just doggone stupid. It's just so doggone stupid. Because let's say you're traveling at 65 miles an hour and you slam on the brakes, your body is still traveling 65 miles an hour. It's called inertia. Hint, what's in motion stays in motion unless an opposite and equal force reacts upon it. Newton's first law of motion. For every action, there's a equal and opposite reaction. You're driving at 65, you slam on the brakes and you're not wearing a seatbelt, you're going into the steering wheel or your dashboard. Point blank period. Like I said, the seatbelts are there to save lives. Can it be a pain in the ass? I gotta give it to you. It is a pain in the ass if you're jumping in and out the truck, throwing it on and off. I get that it's a pain in the ass. But it's there for a reason. Now the only time I don't wear it is if I'm in a pickup truck jumping in and out the truck. That's the only time I'm not wearing the belt. But if I'm not jumping in and out the truck, I'll click it. I click it. No matter what, I'll try to click it. There's only one time I don't do it, and that's typically in the winter when I'm jumping in and out the truck, shoveling and sanding or landscaping in the summer or whatever I'm doing. That's the only time two times I won't wear the belt is if I'm jumping in and out of somebody's car all the time. It just becomes a nuisance. But as much as it being a nuisance, it's there. It helps save lives. This is me, Steven Silvestri. We are on May 19th, I believe, 2018, and we are around 4 o'clock. 2018. It's me, Steven. Peace and out.